Hi, welcome back. Today, I want to speak about my research and my personal experience on consuming alcohol as a senior citizen, right? So, many of us have reached the ages of 50, 60, 70, and beyond. I'm 64, so as a reference, a lot of us have already stopped alcohol completely. And many of us, I would say the majority of us at some point consumed alcohol, even if it was for a short period of time when we were much younger. A lot of us have quit. And some of the reasons that we quit are very valid reasons. Perhaps it was a family relationship that we quit over, or maybe the doctors told us we need to quit, or maybe we hit rock bottom, maybe we lost jobs or drunk driving charges, or whatever the case. Many of us, by the time we hit 60, have stopped drinking completely, and that's great. But what I'm speaking about is for those of us that didn't quit, that were able to moderate alcohol well enough to have a functioning life and still get to be 60 healthy. And to be able to do that, we must have done something right with alcohol. If we're still healthy, it hasn't affected our health, it hasn't affected our life, but we wonder, boy, I have 20, 25 years of life left. Should I have alcohol in that? And that's the kind of thing that I want to speak about. So I'm not a doctor. I am a professional investigator. My job is always to go through research data and try to separate as I say, the fact from bullshit. And this is the approach that I want to present today. And again, I'll give you my personal take as well. So, is alcohol a toxin? Isn't that the question of the day? Is it a toxin? If you look at the research, it's divided. And if you abuse alcohol, it can certainly be considered a toxin. If you can have one or two drinks once or twice a week, I don't believe it is a true toxin. Does it strain our liver? Yes. But can our livers handle it? Yes. It does put our livers into a bit of a remission, whatever our liver was working on at the time, whether it was digestion or sleep or rebuilding our bodies during the sleep, during our REM sleep and our deep sleep. The liver will say, hey, I'm stopping everything and I'm going to process that alcohol and rid it from our bodies. But does that mean that it's toxic? No. Is there any benefit, health benefit, to drinking alcohol? So I'm going to put this into two parts. I'm going to start from the neck down. Is there a health benefit to drinking? No, there is no health benefits to alcohol. Do you remember when we were told red wine is heart healthy? No, it's not true. Perhaps it was just a scam from marketing. I don't know, but it's been proven that it's not healthy. But does that mean that we can't have it? Does that mean we can't tolerate it? I believe we can. And what about from our neck up? Is it healthy? And I'm not talking to brain health or physiological health in the brain. I'm talking about cognitive or mental health. Yes, I think that alcohol can be healthy for us if it's done in moderation. Like I said, maybe one or two drinks a week. And the reason for this is because as we get older, our circle gets smaller. And it's very important to have social activity with others. And I'm not talking just over screens. I'm talking like we used to do when we were kids and when we were younger, person to person 3D contact with people. And alcohol can play a part of that, whether it's having a beer with a buddy over a hockey game, a glass of wine on the deck with your neighbor, going to a wine tasting with friends or a group. There's all kinds of reasons why socially alcohol can fit into the life of as a senior. But it comes down to the dose. And it comes down to each of us. We're all individuals, and there are so many nuances to this. So if you're in your 60s and beyond and you're still having a little bit of alcohol and it's not affecting you as far as, for example, blood tests, liver enzymes, your doctor's not saying you need to quit drinking, your spouse isn't threatening to leave you because you're drinking. If everything's normal and you're continuing to drink alcohol, these are the things that I found out that you have to look at. How does it make you feel? So, does alcohol reduce stress? Yes, at the moment it feels good. It might numb you from pain that you're going through, physical or emotional pain. But what about the next day? How do you feel the next day? Alcohol by itself can be a stressor at night, and I'll get into the sleep part of it. Or the next day, you can wake up and you can feel even more stressed than you did before the drink. And typically that would be because we consumed alcohol, right? So sleep. Alcohol will always, I would say almost always, make you fall asleep easier, right? But does it keep you asleep? How many of us can have a drink or two at night and still get a full, great night's sleep? If you can, wonderful. If you're like me, no. I'll wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. My heart will be beating a little faster than normal. It might be skipping a few beats. Nothing that's going to kill me, but it just doesn't make me feel great. And I'll get up because now I have to go to the bathroom because I was drinking liquid the night before and I can't fall back asleep. So in totality, alcohol is not good for your sleep. Like I said, it might knock you out, but a sedative doesn't mean that you're going to get a good quality sleep. Exercise. As seniors, it's important we get exercise, and for many of us, that just means walking. How do you feel the next morning? Do you want to walk as much as if you didn't drink? If you do, wonderful. But if you don't, if you wake up in the morning and say, "Nah, I'm going to skip the walk today," that glass of wine, I can still feel it. Well, then obviously alcohol is affecting your health, right? What about diet? When we are trying really hard to eat clean, eat whole foods, trying to clean up our diet, trying to perhaps lose weight, trying to reverse things like diabetes or any disease we may have or medications we're on. How do we feel when we have a glass of wine? Does it not make us perhaps eat something that we might not have drank or might not have eaten if we didn't have that wine? Possibly. And again, if it doesn't, if you can still eat clean and drink your wine, then great. For many of us, we can't. And what about the next morning? Sometimes when we wake up, it makes us crave foods, crave sugar, crave fast foods. When if we didn't have that drink, it typically wouldn't have affected us like that. So what's the answer to all this? It's very simple. How does alcohol make you feel? Does it provide benefit in your life at the time you're drinking? Again, with the social or whatever it does for you, are you able to moderate it? Does it affect your other health pillars, your stress, your sleep, your movement, or your exercise? If it doesn't affect you that much, then why not have a glass of wine or two a day? I mean, we're 60 plus, we're warriors. Do we not deserve it? Perhaps we do, but we do not deserve to feel crappy because of the alcohol. So as confusing as this may sound, it actually is very simple. If we can drink little enough alcohol that it does not affect our health or does not affect our lifestyle, then there's a place for it, in my opinion. If it does affect us to the point where we're a little bit older, we don't tolerate it as well, we don't feel as good in the morning, and it affects our life after we drink, then perhaps we should look at reducing the amount of alcohol or even eliminating it together. We've all done that with smoking, or many of us have done it with smoking. We realized that it was cool to smoke and now not so much, right? So many of us have quit smoking. We can do that with alcohol. So see how you feel. Do you feel that alcohol is benefiting you? If not, perhaps it is time to take it out of our life. Me personally, I'm not at that point, but I'm getting to the point where I'm realizing that the alcohol tax, as I call it. So yes, I love a drink. It makes me feel great. But the effects afterwards are getting me to the point where I can honestly see that I will probably be cutting it out of my life completely at some point in trying to keep the healthiest that I can be. So I hope that makes sense. And I'd love to know people's comments about, do they still drink in their 60s? How much do they drink? Do they think that they should still be drinking? Or is alcohol just a part of your life and it helps it? And as George Burns did, you're going to keep it in your life forever. If you like this, please like the video, subscribe, and see you next time.